And hello YouTube, this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'm today on a brand new video for tutorials with JS. In today's tutorial, we're going to take a look at Adobe Premiere Pro and how to edit a 360 video within the editor, as well as upload that 360 video properly on YouTube. Now, I'm aware that I haven't made a video for the past week or so. I was pretty busy this week, as well as on a small vacation too, so we should be back on the swing of things from here on. So I just created a new project here, file and a new project. I just created a new project called 360 test. So if you don't know what a 360 video is, it's basically a new form of technology and video format that allows the viewers to move the camera around within that video space so they can look around the area. Usually with a regular recording, you only have one shot and you can only look at what the camera is recording in front of it. With the 360 camera, you can actually move the camera whatever angle you want, up, down, left, right. The viewer can decide what they want to look at within the video player, which is a really cool new technology. Now, one of the challenges is how to edit these type of videos. To begin with, Premiere Pro does not support the 360 video format. You cannot edit a 360 video within Adobe Premiere Pro. So you actually have to convert it to a stitched equirectangular projection through a software that your camera may provide. And when you have that stitched video, you can then go ahead and drop it into Premiere Pro. Now, what I mean by stitched video, here I just imported a test file that I have here. From a previous 360 video that I edited, but essentially a stitched format video is usually an MP4 or an AVI, depending on what format you like to use, but it looks just like a regular video. As you can see here, this is how the equirectangular projection looks like. It looks like a single shot. Now, this is after you've used some software to convert it. Now, the software that you need is usually provided with your 360 camera. There should be a software that allows you to drag your video in and convert it to a video like this. Some cameras already give you a stitched version of that video file. If you happen to be working with several clients, they should be providing you with the stitched version of that video as well. So once you have this form, it's very easy. You can just either create a new sequence based off of the settings of the camera. We can go to File, we can go to New, we can go to Sequence here. I've actually made a custom sequence down here, 360, and I've adjusted some of the settings here. You can create a new preset by adjusting settings here, changing the name and clicking OK. Or if you have a preset already for that 360 video, you can go ahead and double click here, press OK. Otherwise, you can just go ahead and drag the video across the timeline here, and it will create a sequence. However, if you see that the video dimensions are not correct or the frame rate is not correct, or if you have a red bar up here, it usually means that the footage is in a different frame rate or a different dimension. So if you have a yellow bar here, you should be good to go, or a green bar, you should be good to go. What I like to do is go up to File, New, Sequence, and use my preset that I have for the 360. And then I can just go ahead and drag it over. And as you can see, we get the same results. Now, editing wise, it's fairly straightforward. You can just cut stuff up if you wanted to, just like you do in any other editor, just like you do with any other video. One interesting, neat little trick you can do, however, if you go to the effects panel here and you were to type in offset, you can actually use this offset effect, drag it over your video here, go to the effect controls here, and if you move the vertical percentage, this will actually center your video. This means that when the video starts playing in the YouTube player, this is where the camera shot will be looking at. So if I want to have my camera shot here, I'd put it here. If I want to have it start here, I put it here. And that's sort of a neat little effect you can use to customize your video a bit more and to basically identify the starting location for that video. Essentially, people will be able to move the camera around while the video plays, but if you want to have an initial starting spot, you can set that with the offset effect here. Now, once you have your edits done, very simple edits. If you want to do simple edits, if you want to do all kinds of crazy things, you can do so. But once your editing is done, we're going to go up to File, we're going to go to Export, we're going to go to Media, make sure you have your timeline selected. If you use the media encoder that Adobe provides, you can do that as well. But what you're going to have to do is, once again, match the settings to the footage that you have here. So if you are recording in 4K quality, you want to make sure you're rendering in 4K quality. And you can once again create a preset again. All the presets that I'm showing you are based off of the Samsung 360 gear camera. So if you have that as well, you could have copied my preset settings from earlier. Here once again I have a preset as well, 360. As you can see here, we're rendering in H.264. That's the best codec for YouTube. And as you can see here, I have my settings for the 360. You want to make sure that your profile is set to high level is 5.1, and everything else is fairly standard. Like I said, resolution is based on what your camera is recording at, but essentially everything else is pretty much standard as it is. And that's pretty much it. You go ahead and press Q if you want to queue it for the media encoder, or you can go ahead and press export, and it will export this video. Now once that's done exporting, you're not done yet. You can't go ahead and upload this video to YouTube yet, because what's going to happen is that it's just going to look at this. It's not going to be a 360 video. So you actually need another application. In fact, YouTube provides that. They have a help page right here that actually tells you what you need. But essentially, I will leave the link in the description below. If you have the Mac OS, you want to download the Mac version. Windows, you want to download the Windows version. But you need the 360 metadata injector. And this will basically put all the information into your video that you took out when you were converting it to an equirectangular projection, so that metadata is back in there and YouTube can recognize it as a 360 video, and you can then move the camera around. So once you have it downloaded, just go ahead and open it up. If you have WinRAR, you can do that. You have 7-zip, you can also use 7-zip. And there should be one file here. You can go ahead and double click it it's an exe file. So once you open it, the program will start. You'll get this black box first. Just leave it alone, let it do its thing until you get this white box that pops up here, and this is the little application. Now what you're gonna do is click open here, and you're gonna find your video that you want to inject the 360 metadata into. So here's that 360 test, the edited version, and what you want to make sure you have is make sure this video is spherical 360. Have this check marked. If your video is 3D, you can go ahead and check mark that as well. For certain cameras, spatial audio is also available. If your camera supports spatial audio, then you can go ahead and check mark that as well. The one that we have here doesn't. And after that, just go ahead and click inject metadata, and make sure you save it somewhere. At the top here, you'll notice the video file name, so you can ensure that you selected the correct one. Go ahead and click inject metadata just, and it'll ask you to save it again, but this is going to be the injected version. So as you can see here, it says injected underscore. Go ahead and press save just, and that will save it as a new video file. Let this load. It'll say successfully saved when it's complete. You go ahead and close everything else out. You don't need that anymore. And what you'll see on your desktop now is we have an injected version right here. Now with this injected version, we can just go ahead and drag it into YouTube like so. And essentially that's all you need to do. You don't need to do anything in the advanced settings. If it is a 3D video, then you have to click this video is 3D, obviously. Other than that though, nothing else needs to be changed. You can just wait till this uploads, and once it does upload, you'll be able to watch the video in 360 and move the cameras around just like you would in any 360 video. If you want to see how that looks like, here is actually a neat little example that I found here on YouTube. As you can see, you can move the camera around like so, and this is the exact same thing that you're gonna have in your video as well. So some of these videos can be really cool, and there's some really cool ideas. So the only real tricky part is getting the footage from your camera into the software that the camera provides, hopefully, and converting that to an equirectangular projection. Once you have that, it's very straightforward. Drop it into the editor. Go ahead and use the correct settings for your sequence and for exporting. Go ahead and drag it into the injector, inject the metadata, drag it into YouTube, upload it, and you'll be good to go. So it's very simple. Hopefully you enjoyed the tutorial. Hopefully you learned something and found it informative. If you are wondering about the software that your camera provides, or if you're not sure if your camera provides the software to convert videos into an equirectangular projection, I would look on your camera's website. Usually 360 cameras do come with a software included that allows you to do that. I'm sure many of the websites have different softwares, so I'm not going to go over all of them. So any questions and further suggestions or feedback, if you have any tips for other people also working with 360 video, that if you've worked with 360 video in the past, go and leave a comment down below for any suggestions or any questions. I'll definitely be down there answering any questions you have. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go and subscribe. Lots of the videos on the channel regarding video editing, audio editing, image editing, other tutorials on Windows, YouTube. Lots of cool stuff on the channel if you're interested in software or learning about new things. So go and subscribe. Would love to have you on board. And if you want to donate $1 to my Patreon page, anything as low as $1 is very helpful, very much appreciated. Click the card on the top right corner of the screen, and it'll bring you to the page. I also have a vlogging channel, tutorials channel. I also have a vlogging channel, gaming channel, advice channel, music channel. Want to check this out? Links in the description as well as on the end card. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching as always. And this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'll be back sooner than you think. Don't go anywhere.